Hey everyone, good morning. Happy November, November 1st. I hope you guys had an awesome last weekend of October, Halloween weekend. I hope it was great. Maybe you had a whole bunch of trick-or-treaters come to your house. Maybe you live somewhere in the country like me, and so you don't really have trick-or-treaters, but just getting to celebrate Halloween however you did that. I hope it was great. November is here. That is crazy. It is. The year has flown by so fast. It's crazy that we're already almost 2 months away, or we are 2 months away from a new year. That it is almost a new year. Just thinking back to a year ago, right now, really, I was gearing up for college graduation, and now here I am almost half a year into my first teaching career. It's just it's crazy to think about how fast the last year has went, but it has been an awesome one. Super in love with what I get to do every day. And I say a lot that people say, well, how's teaching? And I'm like, oh, it's teaching. It's because it is. It's stressful stuff, and just chaos, and kids make me want to pull my hair out sometimes, but I couldn't imagine doing anything else. So I think every job has its stressors and has its downfalls, I guess, but if you love what you do, then that outweighs all of those, and I truly love what I do, and getting to be involved with kids all day and getting to be a positive example in their life. That is something that I am, a very big proponent of, is being a positive example in kids' lives, because they need it. And sometimes, and I do know that my kids, there's ones that have really good examples as far as like parents and stuff go, and then there's ones that don't. And so and I know that, but even the ones that have, the great parent examples and stuff, even they need someone outside of family to be a positive example for them. And I that comes from experience, because, I have had, however you want to say it, a great family that I grew up around that was super good example for me. But at the same time, all of the people outside of my family, even to this day, that are positive examples for me, have helped shape me just as much as those family members have. So I know that kids need positive examples within their circle, their immediate circle, but they also need some that are outside of that immediate circle that are going to be there as well. So I love what I get to do every day, and it is just it's a blessing, and it's awesome. So November, we're starting a new month, so that means that we have a new verse for the month. It says, everything that God made is good. Nothing that God made should be refused if it is accepted with thanks to God. That's 1 Timothy 4, verse 4. So today's title is Dig Deep. It says, let your roots grow down into Him, and let your lives be built on Him. Then your faith will grow strong in the truth you were taught, and you will overflow with thankfulness. That's Colossians 2:7. Let your roots grow down into Him. I think that I very rarely do I pre-read these. I just kind of jump on and start talking, and I'll figure it out as I go. So when stuff correlates and connects, it's normally not planned. And so talking about being a positive example to all those kids that I'm around every day, and this verse, they connect. Because I am not at a private school. I am at a public school. And so, as far as talking about my faith and all of that, luckily I'm at a school that is not as strict as some places are about that, but I'm still at a public school. So I can't go, I play music in my classroom. I'm not playing Christian music, I would love to, because that's what I listen to, but I know that I just can't do that, because there's going to be some people that are not going to be, open to that. So stuff like that, and then, just talking about my faith and all that. I will openly talk about my faith to anyone that asks, any of my students that ask, but I cannot approach that subject on my own. But even so, I am still modeling Christ by my actions and the way I treat my students, the words I use, that sort of thing. So even though I am not openly, discussing with them, hey, I'm a Christian, this is why, you should live your life this way too, I'm still showing those aspects by the way that I act, the words that I use, all of that. So that Christian example is still coming through to them, just not as, just not as bold as it would be if I was in a private school, but it's still coming through to them. They just may not realize that is why. That the reasoning behind me wanting to be such a positive example is because I want them to see Christ in me. So the good climbing tree doesn't just pop up overnight. It takes years for any good tree to grow strong branches for someone to hang from its branches. Oh, it takes years for a good tree to grow strong enough for someone to hang from its branches. Even the biggest trees don't stand a chance against strong winds if it is not planted deep into good soil. God is the rich soil that we need to plant our roots deep down into. He will give us wisdom as long as we spend our time digging deeper into His Word. God says that He will give us wisdom, and He's going to... One of my favorite verses is Ephesians 3:20, and it's, all glory to God who is able through His mighty power at work within us to give us more, to bless us more than we ask or abundantly than we ask or receive, basically, summing it up. And so God is going to bless us so much. God does bless us so much. He will give us so much wisdom and just guide us along the right path that He wants us to take. But it goes back to, we have a choice. That's the great thing about God, is we have a choice always on if we want to follow where He leads or if we want to go our own path. He gives us that choice. And so He will give us wisdom beyond our comprehension. But we have to put in the effort to dig into His Word to learn it. It's like, whenever they talk about, whenever it was always like, you wish you could, put your textbook under your pillow and sleep on it and all the knowledge would come into your brain. That doesn't happen with God. It doesn't happen with a textbook, and it doesn't happen with God. Now, could God make it happen? Absolutely. Because God has the power to do anything. So could God put knowledge into your head as you sleep or as you walk throughout your day without you having to do anything? Absolutely. But is He going to? Probably not. He wants you to dig into His Word and to discover all of these truths that He has for you by you digging into His Word and studying and praying and spending time with Him. And then He's going to give you all this wisdom and show you all these things that are just beyond our comprehension. It says, Lord, help me to find Your goodness and love in Your Word. Let me live every day knowing and speaking Your truth so I can be strong for You. If that one last sentence does not sum up how we should live our everyday lives, I don't know what does. Let me live every day knowing and speaking Your truth so I can be strong for You. Whenever we will speak God's truth and know His truth, how we act, how we talk, the way that we treat people, all that's going to change. When we know His truth, when we speak His truth, when we act out His truth, that changes how we are as a person. That changes how people are going to see us as a person. And they're going to see us better than they did before. We should go out every day with the mindset of being a positive example for Christ. I say it every day, or I say it every time that I end a video, to be the example. And that's more than just a word. That's more than just words. That's more than just a phrase. That is a literal call to action, if you will, of what we should be doing every single day, is being the example. It's easy to say you want to be an example. It's easy to say you want to make an impact. What's harder is actually putting in the work to do that. Because here's the thing, you are being an example one way or the other. Everyone is an example. It just depends on what kind of example you are. You can be a good example or you can be a bad example. You can make a good impact or you can make a bad impact. Everyone is doing that every single day. It depends on you to determine what it's going to look like. So we should go out every day with the mindset of being a positive example, making a positive impact for Christ. So with that, everyone go out, have a great Monday, have a great week, and like I say every single time, be the example.